Hello all you lovely ladies and gentlemen out there. My name is Azecreth. This will be my first of hopefully many YouTube videos. So as you can see, we are playing Sins of a Solar Empire as the Vasari Loyalists. And I've set this up to be a pretty quick game that will serve to give an example of what I do, while at the same time offering me the time to talk with you and provide some information about myself.
Scouts have discovered
As you can see, I've set this up for it's a tiny map with fast settings for everything: research, build time, quick start, and I've turned Capital World Victory on because we want it to be done sooner rather than later.
The journey begins anew.
I've chosen to construct the Vasari colonization capital ship first, for ease of things. Now then, I am a college student currently residing in the American Midwest, and I was motivated to do YouTube videos by watching others, and I figured that if they could do it, then I could do it too, which certainly seems reasonable. I don't actually have experience doing YouTube, but I have done radio, so I figured that maybe that radio experience would be suitably conveyed to this sort of thing. Now, I'm hoping I'll be able to provide some interesting commentary. Not necessarily funny, because humor is not totally my thing, but there'll be plenty of pop culture references if I can shoehorn them in. And if not, then, well, that's just how things go. We are beginning our attack, so we can just watch that happen. Otherwise, I am a big fan of science fiction. I also like anime and alternate history. Decent interest in politics, I would say, given that that's what I'm currently attending college for. So don't sue me for being a politician, because I'm not totally. In terms of science fiction, I like hard sci-fi, soft, space operas. So yes, I like the various Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, Battlestar Galactica, among other things. As you can see, we've successfully won there. Now we'll colonize this planet.
Fighter wings standing by.
Build infrastructure, explore, set up that stuff, and we will move on to continue our glorious attack.
An excellent plan.
Now, the type of games I'll be doing, I'm picturing that I'll do mostly science fiction games, sci-fi games like this, and when I'm not doing this, I'll probably do real-time strategy games. So that is to say, like, if I'm not doing something like Endless Space or Galactic Civilizations or even this, it'll probably be something like, say, Europa Universalis or, well, Civilizations or other things like that. Things that work your mind. Though I cannot rule out the possibility of doing hack and slash, first-person shooters, or puzzle games. It just depends on what I get access to. We'll research some technologies, while at the same time continuing our attack here. Shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Besides video games, I also read lots of books. For example, the Safehold Saga by David Weber, Old Man's War. In my reading, I'm more inclined towards fantasy, but that probably won't come up as much here because, as you can tell, we're not doing fantasy here. Definitely not right now. Now, going on to the future, my future games will have more interactive, they'll be longer, and I'll be going more in-depth with the games, the strategies, that sort of thing, because Sins of a Solar Empire does actually have a backstory, even if it's minuscule. And it'll be interesting to explore that, at least as far as I'm concerned. And at the same, I can't promise that I'll be the best at playing these sorts of games, and I'm sure there are more people out there doing YouTube videos that are superior to me when it comes to this. But at the same time, most of the YouTubers I watch aren't necessarily the best, and they come simply for the commentary.
Research
So if I can be similar to that, then that will be all the better. At least from my perspective. And hopefully that will turn out to be much the same for you. I wouldn't mind you coming to watch me for the strategy, but if I can simply entertain you, then that is just as well. And I will not be disappointed by it. As you can see, we found our enemy, and now would be a good time to check and see who our enemy is, while our scout vessel was about claiming the extractor here, for himself, which he's successfully done, and that'll provide us some more resources.
Scouts have discovered a colonizable planet.
I forgot to build improvements here, which is my bad. Now let's see who our enemy is. Now our enemy is... It is our ideological opposites, the Visari rebels. So we will have to bring them to heel and bring them back into the glorious sphere of our empire for the survival of our species. But that's backstory stuff that doesn't quite matter as much. We'll go and colonize that, then we will swing around and begin the drive on their capital, which shouldn't be too difficult given that it's right there. Our exploration will continue, and we'll continue to build up and get the resources we need to fight our enemies. This is a very, very fun game. It came back out in 2008, I think? Something like that. I got the original, but I never played... I didn't get the expansions until Rebellion came out, which is what I'm playing with now. I also have the Stellar Worlds and... the Stellar Phenomena and Forbidden Worlds DLC, which adds new planets, adds new stars, and hopefully we will get a lot of things from that. And as you can see, on one of our other worlds, we found some natural resources, subsurface metal deposits, which will be useful. And now we will go in to colonize another world, take it for ourselves. As you can see, our star here is a black hole, which is not good. Gives damage. Damages your phase jump capability, that is to say your FTL. And if at all possible, we should avoid going there.
Planet lockdown complete.
And we have just colonized that world for our own. So we will go back there and prepare to move on the enemy. At the same time, we will build up this planetary infrastructure.
Research finished. Our ships have left.
Now, I said that I was inspired by other YouTubers. As a matter of fact, I do know some people in real life who have done and are currently doing YouTube videos. One of them is Toasterman XD. He doesn't do quite science fiction or strategy games, though he has done a Doom Let's Play. But he's more of a fun guy to watch if you're interested in crazy shenanigans or just general having fun. Not to say that he's bad by any stretch of imagination, because he isn't. He's just not orienting his channel towards a certain theme like I am with science fiction and real-time strategy and stuff like that.
Planet development finished.
So, there's also Canada AXT, who works in relationship with a radioactive walrus. I think that's his username. I can't quite remember it, but I know him in real life. He's currently doing a Legend of Zelda Let's Play for, doing a Legend of Zelda Let's Play. And Radioactive Walrus, they do their own thing as well, which is certainly fun to behold. And I'm glad to be taking part in joining them in that sort of community, because they were a motivation in driving me along to do this. To have the motivation that I need to get off my lazy butt and actually make this happen. It's certainly something important in the grand sum. Now then, with our fleet assembled, we'll move on this dead asteroid. Once we have taken that, at the same time we're going to begin fleet upgrades to get bigger, stronger. We can make our fleet larger, which will certainly be important as we drive on the enemy capital over here of Saturna. But for now we go to Lautaro.
Our ships have left.
And we'll just have to see how well that turns out.
Research finished.
We'll also build a new capital ship. And there is nothing there to defeat, so at this point we will simply build up our fleet. Which is why we'll speed up time to ×8 so we can get this over with faster. As I said, this was only meant to be an introduction video, as it were, and so taking too long was not in my mindset. In the future I will then refrain from going this fast unless nothing is happening. But for the moment, well, nothing is happening, and I wanted this to be done fast. Certainly in a larger map with more than one other player, there will be much more things happening. This is not what we have going on at this time, so we will just have to deal with it as best we can. As you can see, we've got another capital ship now.
Time is fleeting.
And we will focus on, we will colonize this dead asteroid, even though there's not much to be gained from it.
Begin jump sequence.
But it doesn't hurt. Then we'll wait for the fleets to rejoin us, and we will move on. As you can see, we have our glorious fleet right over here.
Found anything.
And I will send them on to Mansurova to take it for the glory of our empire, and then we will drive on the enemy capital. As I mentioned, I have had this game for a long time. I have about 80% of the achievements thus far. Some of the ones that are hard to get, such as population, I don't. Space ponies, I will find those things eventually. Have not found them yet. But I will. Endless Space, I've had that for a long time. Other such games. Oh wait, an artifact. Did I find that? I did, I found an artifact. This is great. Artifacts are special things you can get. They provide bonuses. And we have relativistic factories. More logistics slots for our planets. Structure build rate increased. Ship build rate increased. So we can build things faster. This is good. I mean, I think it's good. You should think it's good too, because it means we get to build more stuff. We get to blow things up faster. And we will provide all our funding there. We are quickly subduing this planet with extreme force and prejudice. I mean, I like the graphics of this game. See, look at those lasers and those missiles. Really, the sound graphics are a bit tacky, but I'm not going to complain too much about them when I enjoy it this much. There's a lot of replay value to be had, a lot of things you can do, strategies you can try, and I'm interested in exploring those as well, though I certainly have my own preferred method of doing things, which I'm not going to say it's slow and steady, but at the same time it's not like I'm totally blitzing in at the same time either. It's complicated. That's what I'll say. It's complicated. It's a mixture of, I want to be ready to attack, but I'm not taking too long, I'm not playing totally defensively. We'll just have to see how that plays out in a more standard game when the AI is can be a bit stronger, for example. Which, tiny maps are generally easy to do that with because of how things are set up, and that will just have to be something we wait to witness. For now though, we have our fleet. It is at full health. We will drive on Saturna and end this war, the glory of our empire.
Planet development finished.
Hopefully anyway. Unless they have something hiding around that I don't know about. But considering how advanced my things are, that shouldn't be a challenge. Since when I checked, they had no planetary defenses.
Preparing for phase
And here we go. That's phase travel, kids. That looks good. They didn't used to be orange, they used to all be blue. But I can't say that I complain about this. As you can see, right away we have a fleet battle between... They have a carrier and a Devastator. I have a Devastator too, but I have the colonization ship. And the fight has begun in earnest. We'll have to hope we have these ships and numbers to bring us victory.
research finished.
We've taken some losses, but you can see how things are going, the interchange between the two. I like to say that a good space battle is like art, and this game certainly helps that. I turn on cinematic mode, but that doesn't actually work that well. Like, it somehow lags my computer more than this does. I'm not sure why, but because of that, we're going to refrain from cinematic mode for the moment, and simply just watch this chaos, watch this fighting go down.
On my way.
But as you can see, their carrier is running for it. We have the upper hand now.
Joined the battle.
At the same time, we have to bring in new ships, but that's just unfortunate. And as their ships fall here, it will give us a decisive advantage that we can take, that we can use
I need orders
to gain victory.
immediately.
We're battering down their capital ship, which will soon fall, give us the victory. At the same time, we've got new ships moving in.
Frigate ready. Research finished. Frigate ready. On my way.
One of our capital ships has leveled up.
My strength.
That would be the Devastator. We'll give it jam weapons to, you know, jam their weapons.
I need orders. Our time.
At the same time, this has leveled up. We'll give it a bigger gravity warhead.
Frigate ready. I need orders.
So yeah, for now it's just micromanaging, dealing with this fight. And there goes their capital ship. In the future I'll be more in-depth about this, I would say, as in dealing with the unfortunate bits of combat. Because as it stands, this isn't too hard, but in the future I'll have to deal with star bases, minefields.
My time.
My ship's annoyingly running into minefields without preparing for defense, or dealing with the minefields, larger enemy fleets, titans, super weapons. Those are all things I'll have to deal with and use going on into the future. For the moment though, we have the victory and we pretty much have the upper hand, given that they have lost their fleet and they have no defenses here that can otherwise stop me, because we didn't give them the time to create a starbase. Admittedly, that was also because this was set on normal. In the future, I'll probably try to stick to hard mode or expert. But since I wanted this to be a quick game, we will have it be regular and normal at this point. They managed to build another capital ship, which is annoying. But given how outnumbered they are, and the stats of the missile ship, the Desolator, that won't be too much of an issue at this point. It's just a matter of battering down their shields. Oh, that is very unfortunate. It looks like my ship has taken heavy damage, but their ship just exploded, so fair is fair. Now it's just a matter of finishing up this war and dealing with the results of that. Well, I don't actually have to deal with the results. I just have to win the fight,
Standing by.
which will not take long now that I can bomb the planet into submission with impunity. Otherwise, we'll batten down the orbital infrastructure to make sure that we can't build new ships in the meantime, and we can't see a repeat of that capital ship incident. But our attention has fallen to bombing the planet, which we are currently doing. It's only a matter of time before we win. which is why I'm advancing time, so we can get this done faster. I also must admit that in the future, my machine is not the best machine, and as a result, moving at faster speeds on larger maps may cause it to lag. But hopefully that won't be too much of an issue and we can keep it under control for the most part. Sadly, that is the price I have to pay. I do not have a major gaming rig and only a laptop, as it were, at this point. But hopefully it won't be an issue. We can still enjoy ourselves nonetheless. This is certainly one of the more worthy games that I have. One of the more, well, harder to run games, I would say. I want to know, what are you doing? Oh, it's moving to use a special ability on something else. That makes sense, I guess. We will speed back up, resume bombing the planet. As you can see, us bombing in rapid speed, really fast. Sadly, no planetary invasion capabilities in this game, which is a tad disappointing, but I can live with that. What I would like more is a concerted campaign mode, which hopefully will be coming in Sins of a Solar Empire 2 if that ever gets made. Which it might. I haven't heard anything otherwise, and Stardock's a bit busy making Galactic Civilizations 3, which I will certainly enjoy to get and play once it's out and at a reasonable price. Sadly, I'm a college student, I'm not made of money to just buy whatever games I want, but at this point I will endeavor to do my best to entertain, you know? So the planet is quickly falling, and it's just a matter of time at this point. That was an explosion. I do not know what that was, but doesn't matter that much. For now, we close the curtain on this little drama. In the future, things will be more bigger, more interesting, and all of that.
An enemy's capital has been destroyed.
The capital has been destroyed, and with that, we have won the game. At this point, I would like to thank you all for tuning in to listen and watch my first YouTube video, one of which will hopefully be many in the future. I'm Azecreth, thank you, and have a nice day.